Welcome back to the Four Rings Inn for another episode of City of Shadows. Last we saw our highborns. They had a brush with death in the Temple of Ryan. The two mercenary and one strange cultist entered the Temple of Ryan, seemingly with the sole goal of killing our lovely Renshaw. Whereas the sole goal for some of them, another had a different idea, with Maximilian Splotchin losing sight of his original goal and going completely berserk on the lovely Count Eleanor, or Count Air Eleanor, excuse me.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Soon to be.
Soon to be.
Soon to be.
That's like wishing ill on Florian.
Down with the Quillins.
Soon to be. The attack was stopped in part by the quick thinking of Renshaw and beating some people over the head with a heavy textbook, and with our wonderful Ashen Order Oriana Lunaris stopping the cultists in their tracks. We were able to secure their magical sphere, their focus of runic magic, sent off to one of Oriana's mentors, Chamet. And then the book from the restricted section was taken home by Eleanor, with only one page missing from May. But with that, everyone had returned back to their houses, and a gloomy sun rises over Thalia for a new day. But without further ado, are you ready for a scary story?
Woo.
Brighthold Barracks awakens early on this day as the recruits of the Ashen Order, the Cloaks, begin their morning routine earlier than normal. Oriana, you normally wake up earlier than most of the other Cloaks in the Ashen Order to do your Vignacci and to get out your some of your anger. But on this day, you are in fact woken up, as is the majority of the Cloaks, and roused to the training area for early assignments. You don your gear. You see the other members of the Ashen Order begin to don their cloaks as well, and you see that there is actually. Give me a gossip check before I just start spilling the beans all left and right.
Oh, it was not great. A 2.
A 2. Oh yeah, that some would call that bad.
I rolled a 7.
Oh, that's right. Oh. Yeah, you. The only thing you hear is that your enforcers shouting to get ready quickly, and there is an immediate briefing will be happening in the training yard from one of the Templars. Now you know that in the way that the Ashen Order has organized in Thalia, there are your cloaks, who are doing most of the work for the Ashen Order. You have your enforcers, which are managing the cloaks around the city, and then you have the Templars. There are 4 Templars in the city. They work directly for the High Priest himself. And you get word that Templar Mozark, Diano Mozark, is coming to give a brief. I want one more check from you, Oriana. Can you give me a history check. As you have never met Templar Mozark.
14.
A 14. You have heard of Diana Mozark, of Templar Mozark. As you begin to get ready, the thoughts start going through your head. He is a older dwarven man. He was not a Templar because the Templars did not exist at the time, but he was very active in the Enlightened during the death of the previous high priest. And since becoming a Templar, he has really honed his skills as a disciple of Volsair, the god of the woods and the god of the hunt. And he is known colloquially around the Ashen Order and around parts of the city as the Bloodhound, for not just his success, but for his ruthlessness at sniffing out Moors in the city. You get dressed, you get your gear, and you make your way out to the training yards where they have the Ashen Order line up in ranks. And you watch as coming in front of your order is cloaked in similar garments, but instead of having the gold accents, his accents are all green, like a bright green color. This dwarven man, a thick brown beard. You can see there are scars on his face and on his hands from years of fighting, both training and in practice. And there are two enforcers off to the side who are holding the chains to his huge white wolf that he keeps as a pet that is named Yeti. So Yeti is chained to the side, being held by two of these enforcers. And Templar Mozark stands in front of everybody and says, "Cloaks of the Ashen Order, I come with a charge from the High Priest himself. Yesterday, a thrall of a witch attempted to steal the lives of two of the nobles of our city while they were in the halls, sacred halls, of Rion's temple. Let this be a reminder to every last one of you that while the valiant fights on the Oakwind River, we too are entrenched in a war of our own. The witch's betrayal may have been 200 years ago, but the ambition of the witches to destroy House Blacksbane is ever alive today. And the only thing preventing them from killing our lords, from killing our families, is you. We will not be wavered by this attack, and the people's trust in us will not be wavered by this attack. It is in my experience that they will try to strike again, and we will be ready." As he said this, you can see Yeti on the corner start to get a little riled up and start to growl as he sees his master get entrenched in this speech. He says, "Your enforcers will be adding new responsibilities to your patrols. You will be each given a list of names for the sections that you will be watching. There will be a list of names of families in your districts that have Moorish ancestry of people who come from the woods and are now living in our city. Some of these people will certainly be helpful servants to our community, but some may be conspiring with the witches to make future attacks happen, and we will not allow it. These people have an affinity for magic, archaic magic, that is difficult to trace without a trained eye. You will stay vigilant and you will stay on your guard, and nothing will get past us. Am I clear? And you hear a resounding yes come from the Ashen Order. Oriana, do you respond with the rest of your cloaks?
I think yes, out of just being like part of the crowd.
Deal. Templar Mozark dismisses the cloaks to their enforcers, and he goes, "You are dismissed back to your posts. And my Volsire bless your hunt," and gives a bow to your group, the Ashen Order, and then moves back to Yeti, taking up the chains in a single hand, and begins to leave.
I already like
As
Yeti.
he goes, as you and your group moves towards your enforcer, everybody is passed a list of names. They are given new assignments around the city. People are given longer watches on the city walls and more watches in New Elsport and in Etherley and in Darlington. As they move out, your enforcer stops you and says, "Cloak Lunaris, we have a special task requested of you." And
Oh, lovely.
he gives you a slip of paper that sends you to the office of High Priest Ilion Moloch.
That feels like I'm in trouble. Okay.
You're getting sent to the principal.
I feel like I'm getting sent to the principal's office.
The hot principal's office.
The hot principal's
Apparently.
office. Very, very important distinction. Oriana, do you go do anything before going to the High Priest's office?
If it seems like there's gonna be like group trainings like there normally is in the morning, then I'll do that with the rest of the group. But if everyone is already like going on about their day and like moving on with whatever missions and tasks they have for the day,
they're going straight to their patrols. Yeah.
All right, yeah. Then I'll go straight to do whatever was on the slip to go meet with High Priest Malak. Very cautiously, as I feel like I am in trouble.
Excellent. As you go to the High Priest, we're going to shift through the winding streets of Thalia, following some of the cloaks as they begin to patrol the city, as the street lamps are snuffed in the morning and they begin a more targeted patrol as they move through their city. We go down the cobblestone streets until we are in Darlington, back at a familiar place of Quillen Keep. The griffin statues still watch the front gate. How do we, on this fine morning, find Eleanor?
Eleanor has been up for hours. Okay. She went to work last night and she got up early this morning. I think she's already had like her morning tea with the governor. She's already like started her daily to-do list and is like
she is on it,
edging out. all of the tasks that she needs to do. But two things are definitely pressing more upon her mind. First, in the early hours, I think I'm gonna pen a letter back to Yanis, the
Yes, excellent.
ranger,
Yes.
and just be, in, you know, a high noble speak, like,
Yeah.
I'm so excited when you want to meet, like, you know what I mean? Like, just like,
Yeah.
like, thank you for this opportunity. I love to hear that you have a connection with my late grandmother.
Yep.
Whatever. And just send that out. I think he said to me something about like whenever you're available, so I'll just like give him like 3 slots during my schedule for the next like today or tomorrow of like when I can make it.
Absolutely. Do you want to go out and meet him, or do you want to request him to come to you? You certainly have that ability to.
I am going to say like purposely like, when should I meet you?
Got it. Okay.
I want to get like to the ranger station so that and see how far I can press this.
Yeah,
To
absolutely.
get me out.
Perfect. Cool. I love it.
Okay. And then the other thing I wanted to do after writing that is like during the lull of like I made my appearances to the house, I want to crack open the Moorish myths that I got from that I
the book missing a
borrowed
page
from the Temple of Ryan.
Absolutely. Yeah. So you take this book. Give me, because you rolled a nat 20 to find it. give me a lore check with advantage, because you know for a fact that what you're looking for is in this book. It's just a matter of finding it.
Amazing. Legend.
Yeah.
That is a hot 7.
Okay.
a hot 7, John.
Hot 7. Okay. I'm gonna say you do find this passage. It takes you a little bit of time.
Yeah.
And what really draws you to the passage is there are a bunch of different Moorish legends in this book, Moorish myths, if you will. Mm-hmm. And of course, the last page of the myth that you find is the only page of this book that has been torn out. But the vast majority is there. I'm going to send it to you real quick, and then I'm going to read it for the audience. Actually, no, I'm going to make you read it. That's fine, I can do that. I'm going to do that.
You're the GM, you have that power. You can pass it on.
Do that. Yeah. And then I'm going to say on a 7, you realize, not that it really like, the 7 is you realizing that there's a slight flaw in what you're looking at. Mm-hmm. Although it's called Moorish myths, you recognize the author as somebody like a famous like Caledonian or a Black Spain author. Like, this is not someone written by Moors. This is someone written by, it's written by a playwright. So somebody who like is making things for the
hearths.
The hearths. Thank you. I couldn't think of the word. Yeah, for their trope. Okay. And so you recognize like, oh, this may not be the most like accurate thing in the world, but this is what you see.
Legend of Nox. Long ago, the witches of Veremore dominated the forest. Every squirrel, stag, nymph, and giant bent their knee to the covens. Their reign over the forest awoke something deep in the woods. From the black heart of Veremore spilled evil spirits that corrupted the mortal beings within the forest, depraving them of their sanity and of their souls. Among these depraved creatures came a warrior, a savage, ruthless, heartless thing with an insatiable appetite for ruin, death, and pain. The warrior was called many names: Hollow Witch, the Iron Capra, what is that word? execratus. Is this? Oh,
You-
is this Latin?
It is. Yeah. It is. That is.
Execratus umbra. I was like, I don't
I don't know
recognize
this
this as an
word.
English word. I'm
That's
a little.
okay. Eleanor
I was like,
Eleanor does not speak Old Ethereum, so
is this
she's.
me? And
No,
then I
no,
saw umbra, and I was like, oh, this is Latin.
This is not my language. Yeah. Nope. That is
Execratus
the
umbra.
character.
To this day, the Moors refuse to speak aloud its proclamation. I am the knell that calls the beast. I am of blood. I am released. The omen of rot is here. With me I bring Cinderfall. The sun will fade and the earth will wither, for I am Nox. The Nox slaughtered the witches to the brink of extinction, their ferocity matched only by the depraved they commanded. After years of destruction, the witches found a ritual to defeat the Nox. They wrought upon him a curse of endless sleep that felled the bloody warrior into a deep slumber. Without a master, the depraved crept back into the shadows, awaiting another soulless tyrant to command them to carnage. Over a millennia, the forest grew over its scarred lands, and its people spread once more to every corner of the Verimoor.
And you can see there again. There is one more page of this that has been removed
Has been torn.
from the legend.
My first thoughts are of Red Shore, and just like, I am the knell that calls the beast.
That does not.
This sounds a little suspicious,
That's funny.
and as if perhaps his name's not Nell, but Nox.
As you finish this passage, there is a knock at the door. Your servants answer and immediately come back and say, Miss Lady Quillen, I'm going to go fetch your mother. The high priest is here. He
Of course.
He gives his sincerest apologies for showing up uninvited, but he would like to speak with you after the incident yesterday.
Of course. Prepare sandwiches and drinks for the drawing room.
Absolutely, it'll be done. And then they rush off, and they go to fetch both Florian and Kier.
Perfect. Mom and Dad together in the same room.
With a guy that's supposed to be in his office.
Excellent. I'm so sorry, Aubrey. Remind me, what is the name of the governess? I have it written down. Marisol. I have it written down as Governess M, and I was like, that's not her whole name. It's somewhere in there. Perfect. You see Marisol is quick on her feet. She gets the the greeting room ready. Like she is quick to get sandwiches, like you said, and she handles everything. You see Florian and Kier come down from downstairs and meet with you before heading to the front door, where you are greeted by the, again, wonderfully handsome High Priest Ilion Moloch. And he goes, Count Quillen, Lord Kier, Count Heir, Eleanor, it is a pleasure to be at your doorstep with all three of you safe and sound. I pray to the Novum that you are in higher spirits than you were last night after such a horrific attack. I, as the current head of the Ashen Order, I wanted to pay my personal respects to your family for the event. Count Heir, Eleanor, are you okay? Are you recovering well?
Thank you, High Priest, for making such a journey out to see me. I am well. Thankfully, the fight occurred mostly between the priest and the creatures, so I came out pretty unscathed.
That is good. I know that's a total lie. You were so scathed, but
But I told my parents I was fine.
that's true. We had to keep that lie up. And he goes, "That is wonderful to hear. Our priests are certainly not trained to deal with anything so violent, especially in the Temple of Ryan. But their quick wits will be spoken about.
Greatly appreciated. Yes.
Florian goes, "High Priest, please come in. Please, we have a table set." And he goes, "Oh, you are truly too kind." And he goes, I will not intrude. I will not stay long. I understand my rudeness coming unannounced. I heard about what
You're
happened.
welcome anytime in our keep.
Oh, well, that is the quite kind Lady Eleanor. I will certainly not overstep my welcome. I would like, however, to make a proposal to your family. With coming so near of tragedy, I would like your assistance, especially in how public of a figure you are. I know the Ashen Order is currently working at their utmost capacity to keep this city safe and to keep you safe in the future. I would like to propose as a gesture of good faith from the enlightened to the pristine, if we may assign a cloak to your family as personal protection, somebody trained to protect the counts and the people of Blacksbane from the exact magics that you were exposed to in the Temple of Ryan.
Truly, that is too kind. And a service like that is certainly, I mean, the highest form of protection I could think of. But I would like to be frank with you, High Priest. I have the best security here at the within our keep and our family. But more so, the targets left me alone. They were after the Tirval heir, Renshaw Tirval. They attacked him and they hurt him, and if you could spare a cloak, I would just greatly appreciate if you could go and if they could protect him instead.
You see, give me an insight check real quick.
Yeah.
These Eleanor dice suck.
They are pretty.
But they're so pretty. That's a 10.
Okay. You see, he considers for your proposition for a second, and then goes, "Lady Eleanor, your generosity truly knows no bounds." And you see Florian puts a hand on your hand and squeezes it, and she goes, "Honey, that is incredibly thoughtful. Are you sure that you don't want extra protection?"
Of course, I trust our guards entirely, and truly they seem to be targeting dear Renshaw, and I mean, he's such an old friend of mine. I insist, truly.
And you see the High Priest go, "Of course, Lady Quillen, if that is your wish, we can absolutely accommodate that. And I will be sure to make it clear to the public the generosity of the Quillens to look out for fellow counts and viscounts, even amongst the hardest times, and entrust the Ashen Order in their protection.
Of course, all of our faith is in you and your team, your forces, to protect this city.
Yes. He goes, I could not thank you enough for placing your trust in the Enlightened and what we can do for the city. And he looks to Florian and goes, Count Quillen, I will see myself out. I do not wish to intrude. I hopefully will see you soon at the next meeting of the Pristine. I have some propositions I would like to present to the council that I hope are favorable to not only your family for their protection, but for the whole city. And I again graciously thank you for seeing me on such short notice, and for me to give my sincerest condolences and pay my respects for such a horrific event that you had to undergo.
Of course.
Wonderful. He goes, may the Novum bless your beautiful family.
Novum bless you.
He gives a deep bow and turns to where you see I imagine, surprised looking Oriana as the high priest turns and says, Cloak Lunaris, we are diverting from our original plan. The wonderful Count Eric Quillen has requested the target of the attacks to be protected, and we are here to serve the Count. We will make a quick detour, and he motions you to get back into the carriage.
Okay.
Oh,
Of
I did
course.
not put two and two together there.
Did I see, I didn't see Oriana at all.
No, this is the first.
Yeah.
You and Oriana make eye contact for the first time right now. And the carriage makes a short ride down the street. As they leave, you see Kier turns to the two of you and says, for such a handsome-looking man, he certainly needs to learn some manners. To show up unannounced this early in the morning is quite uncouth of the high priest himself. We're busy with work. And Florian goes, hush, he was checking on our daughter and there's nothing more important. He thought of her immediately, and that was the first thing he did in the morning. She should be a priority for us and him. Eleanor.
I mean, at least our home is always so beautiful, so it was no trouble, and I'm sure, as Mama said, the high priest simply was looking out for our best interests. A quick stop in, well, rather unfashionable, in times of crisis can always be excused.
Yes, as she grabs your hand. In times of crisis, that's exactly what this is. We had the things happen earlier in the week after the ball, and now this.
No.
The stress is going to kill me. And she is going. I'm going to eat some of those sandwiches. And she begins to move towards the dining hall.
Oh, good. I was worried they were going to go to waste.
Eleanor, is there anything you would like to do as the high priest goes? And actually, as the high priest leaves and Florian leaves, Kier kind of looks around as soon as she turns the corner and goes, have you any intention on going to meet with the Rangers Guild?
Oh, of course, Papa. I was so excited about it. I actually just penned Yanis Gore this morning to let him know the few hours that I'm available today and on the morrow.
Wonderful. Let me know how it goes. I'm intrigued to hear. I don't know much about the Rangers Guild, but
Of course, I will spare no detail.
I am at the edge of my seat, honey. I have to get back to work. I have some prospects that I'm working on. But if you need anything, I will be in my study, and I might be in Thornley later on in the day. But if you need anything at all, you let me know, and I want to hear about how that meeting goes.
Thank you, Papa. And I'll get on my toes to kiss his cheek.
Perfect. He kisses your cheek back, and then makes his way back upstairs. Yes. Is there anything for Eleanor before we...
No, I think the biggest thing is Eleanor is going to want to take that passage that she found.
Yes.
And because she's not a heathen who whips books, just start copying, transferring it into her sketch pad, just so that way she has a copy of the important passages that she can find.
Yeah, absolutely.
She's not going to return the book quite yet, but soon it will need to be returned. And so she just wants to have that record.
I love it. You absolutely get it recorded down. And you have all that.
And I think I'm storing all of this stuff within that bag of holding that has
a bunch of cult objects in it.
Yeah. Thankfully, I'm pretty sure the way bag of holdings work is it's just all in separate little things in a dimension, so separate dimensions, so they're not actually touching. You have to summon each individual item.
You have to go get everything.
Can you imagine if I got my sketchbook back out and there's blood on it from
oh my god.
You're oh, that's
but I think it's good. And then she has that hidden somewhere in her room. The servants, she would know where they clean.
Oh yeah.
And where she could keep her private belonging. But even within that, that shit's extra hidden.
It is super hidden. Yeah, nobody's finding that. Perfect. Excellent.
Perhaps behind a painting, as your family is so fond of doing.
My parents had no knowledge of that.
So they said. Anyways,
we move just down the street as to the Tierwald Manor. How do we find Renshaw as we get closer, move more into the late morning?
Renshaw has been up for a little bit now. He is in his room, and he is currently drafting a letter. He started working on it last night, but he couldn't quite get it right, so he's trying again with some fresh mind after good sleep. But this isn't working either, so he's kind of given up on that for now. We'll try again later.
Deal. You have a letter scrapped when there is another knock on the door to the Tierwald Manor. The servants come, they answer the door, and they come up and fetch you, and they say, Lord Renshaw, we have a guest at the front door. High Priest Ilion is here. He's requesting the company of your father and yourself. I believe it's in regards to the incident yesterday.
Very well. I will meet him downstairs. Have you informed my father?
Yes, of course. You make your way downstairs. Your father has also been up, so he is at the door by the time you get there, having a discussion with the high priest, and you catch the end of their conversation as your father goes, I was not aware that Renshaw was a part of that incident. He did not share much yesterday. And you arrive beside him, and the high priest goes, Viscount Heir Tierwald, it is wonderful to see you safe and sound. May the Novum bless your health and safety, especially after the horrific events come yesterday. First and foremost, are you okay? How are you recovering?
Oh, of course. The priest handled most of that. I was largely unscathed.
Excellent.
Fuck, dude.
Excellent. It is wonderful to hear. I apologize again, Lord Tyrvald, for arriving to your home unannounced. But given what has happened, I did not want to delay with paperwork and letters. I wanted to deliver my condolences and express my gratitude that you are safe and sound, Lord Renshaw, in person immediately. I stopped by the Quillen Keep before this to offer the services of the Ashen Order, as they are suited to protect this city from the horrors that are magic undivine. The Quillens, in their endless generosity, implied that your son, Renshaw, may have been the true target of what these vile people were after in the Temple of Ryan, to better protect your son and to show good faith between the nobles of the pristine and the enlightened. I would like to offer the services of the cloaks personally to your family. I have a cloak here with extensive experience amongst nobles, and I believe that she will not intrude on your lifestyle or lessen the opinions of your family with their actions, and they will be able to serve your family 24/7. They will be here stationed at your disposal, and they will keep a watchful eye on Renshaw wherever he goes. And he takes a step to the side, and you see Oriana standing here. He says, I believe she will be an excellent match for your family. If, Lord Renshaw, you accept, which, again, after the event yesterday, I could not recommend more. And I need everybody to make... actually, I'm going to make an insight check, but I need you two to make charisma saving throws. And you make some eye
I also
contact.
make a deception check?
Yeah, actually, yeah. You can make a deception
Because he
check.
totally brought up non-godly magic, and then he turned directly to me, and I panicked. 100% panicked.
Yeah, 100%.
Well, and he's got to know that they were engaged. Like, she was going to be a scion. Like,
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
is not, like, they're not so far below his station.
No, that he wouldn't know.
Oh, okay, wow, I'm really deceptive. Was that a charisma saving throw?
Yes.
Okay. My deception was a 23 and my charisma is a 19.
Very good. You hold it together. Excellent. I don't know if it's your father being right here or seeing Oriana, but you keep it together. Absolutely. Oriana, how did you do on that save?
I rolled a 12, and I think the second I hear High Priest Malak say, like, realize that, like, oh, Oriana, you're going to be working for the Tyrvalds, and the first thing out of my mouth is, are you fucking kidding me?
Oh, you say that out loud?
I do say that out loud.
He whips his head around and, like, shoots daggers at you. And it's like, what?
What?
What was that?
Nothing, sir. Nothing. If this is my charge, then I will be of service.
It just, like, kind of slowly turns back towards the Tyrvalds and goes, I could not apologize more. Outbursts like this will not happen again. I swear by it. Again, most of the Ashen Order are very well trained, but not versed in the societal norms of counts and viscounts, which is why I have chosen Cloak Lunaris for this task. Lord Renshaw, would you be willing to take this gift of service from the Ashen Order to the Tyrvalds?
Only if Miss Lunaris would like to.
You see High Priest Ilion turns as slowly as someone can turn back to Oriana and goes, I'm sure she would love to serve the Ashen Order and her city.
Yes, if this is my charge, then I will be of service.
Excellent. And immediately turns back to Arthas. He goes, excellent. I will provide all the accommodations that you will need. If we will have her stay here with you. Again, we will provide anything so that she is not a burden on your family whatsoever. But if I believe this is a wonderful moment to show the trust of the Viscounts and the Enlightened and how we can work together to keep the city safe. Don't you say, Lord Tyrvald? And you see Arthas is like, his face is stone cold, and he's looking right at Renshaw. And he goes, yes, High Priest, this would be wonderful for our family. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have some work to do. And Renshaw, you can see your father is like white knuckling his hands. Like, he is furious. He could not have a worse thing happen. And he turns on his heel and makes for his study.
Can I roll like insight or question? Do I think, is Arthas more upset that like I'm here, like at my presence, or is he more upset that Renshaw was involved in the Ryan attack?
Yeah, give me an insight check.
What is he more upset about? 13.
13. You would know that he is, from the reaction that you see, he is pretty livid that he is trying to find his son a new suitor, and then his old suitor now has to live in his house.
Perfect. So he is mad at me. Okay, cool.
Not to say,
is he mad at me?
That's not to say that he's not mad at Renshaw for allowing it to happen, but he also knows that like the high priest
to say.
The high priest just showing up here and is like, hey, I'm giving you this thing. Like, it's hard to say no to that.
This thing being a person?
This thing being a person, yeah. It's a bodyguard, you know? That's all.
I am so uncomfortable. Me, myself, Jake is like awkward smiling. Like
You also see Ilion, as like charismatic as it is now also awkward smiling. And he goes, yes, may the Noem bless your family. I'm not going to lie to you, Lord Renshaw. I was aware of your previous relationship with Cloak Lunaris, and when I took her to be the Quillen's bodyguard, I did not think I would end up at your doorstep. And so I greatly apologize for the strangeness of this. But I do think that having you, your family, and the Ashen Order coming together, it shows that we can be trusted, and it keeps you safe. And I think those are the most important things. Etheric magic and runic magic, unfortunately, do not care for past relationships. Their danger is the same throughout. And so it should only be for a short time. By the end of next week, the Pristine is meeting again, and I have some propositions that I believe will enhance the Ashen Order's ability to protect this city. And so by that time, we can lift the extra services from your household if you so choose. But I'm sure that Cloak Lunaris will be on her best behavior the entire time that she is here, as she is the daughter of a scion and knows how to behave amongst nobles. Correct?
Correct.
Excellent. And the high priest strides back to the carriage and says, Cloak Lunaris, I will have your things moved from the barracks to Tyrvald Manor by the end of the day. Do not let him out of your sight, and do not make me regret trusting the recommendation of the Quillins, as I believe they are a sound recommendation, so long as everybody plays their part.
Yes, sir.
Excellent. Well, have a blessed day, and I apologize for intruding. And then he hops in the carriage, and
We never entered like the threshold. Either.
No,
like,
no, he did
we
not.
did not
No.
invite him in for sandwiches. There was no
No.
tea. He never entered the building.
No. And his carriage wheels him off, and you are currently left, you in the doorway, and Oriana on your doorstep.
I didn't ask
Well,
for this. Just to be clear.
We'll find a room for you.
Thank you. I really thought I was going to be having a sleepover with Eleanor.
Sorry, it turned out like this.
And I apologize as well. Did not expect this turn of events today.
Did you have a good morning?
It was an early morning.
Yeah.
You see Arthas come out of the study, and with one of the guards of the Tyrvald Manor, comes out and says, Cloak Lunaris, this is a map of the premises. Familiarize yourself with it. Here are the keys to the main entry and exit points to our manor, and I'll be sure to get you accommodations in the servants' quarters. Is that clear?
Yes, very clear. I very much appreciate it, although I think I know the manor pretty well.
Do not overstay your welcome. And then he will turn on a heel and walk away. Actually, no. You know what he's gonna say?
Oh no.
This is better. He'll stop. He'll turn around, and he'll say, "And Cloak Lunaris, if I see you out of uniform at any point, I will be sure that you're no longer working for the Ashen Order."
Deal.
And then he'll turn and walk away.
He means naked, I think.
Right. I'm gonna go try and find, head towards the servants' quarters and try to find where I can make my spot.
Yeah, absolutely. The servants they're accommodating. They don't have any problem with you.
Yeah.
They're actually kind of excited to see you. Like, oh my god,
I know, I haven't seen them in so long. I give some
We
of them
haven't
a
seen you
hug.
in so long, Lady Lunaris. How are you?
I'm a little more informal than like I should be because I feel
Yeah.
like I know some of them. Like I'm still very polite, still formal to them, but I feel like she's a little bit more relaxed when speaking to.
Yeah.
The
One of them is
servants there.
definitely like, Miss Lunaris, we haven't seen you since the engagement ended. How have you been?
I have been well. How have you been? It's been quite some time.
Yes, we've been good. Renshaw's been so sad since the engagement ended.
I know. It was terribly depressing.
Yes. You seem to be doing well. I'm sure that that's not good for him, but you seem to be doing well.
I'm making my way.
Good. How long are you staying with us?
I really don't know. I think I'm gonna be here for about like a week or so until the Pristine has another meeting. I just do as I told.
Oh, good. Oh, so do we, you know. Excellent. Oh, good. Okay. Yeah, here's our beds. We all sleep in the same room. So we're going to get cozy.
Okay.
And we will move away from there. And actually, you know what we'll do? We're going to take a quick break to give Renshaw a breathing moment. As the Teal Manor has one new occupant. Excellent. But we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back shortly for more City of Shadows. It is both my favorite and the best class, and that is Paladin.
That's a bold statement.
Paladin?
Hard opinion.
It's the best class. It's a half caster, so you get half spell casting. It's half martial, so you get all the fun of being a fighter. It's the best of both worlds.
But I feel like spellcasters, like full spellcasters, are so powerful. Like at the high levels.
Nobody makes it high levels.
I don't know. I feel like a full spellcaster is where it at. It's the most fun. You're playing a fantasy game. Why would you choose to not have all the spells you can?
I'm playing a fantasy game. I'm using a sword, 100%. You're gonna rob me of that? That's crazy.
If I'm playing a fantasy, I'm using a bow.
I think on paper, my favorite class would be a warlock, but every single campaign, I always come into multi-classing rogue. I can't stay away from the rogue class. I always circle back.
What's yours, Jacob?
I have no idea. I've played so many different classes.
I feel like
I love
you always find a way into the warlock. I feel like you always want to touch a magic item. You want to curse yourself. You are always going to end up at the end of the day part warlock with magic.
All those cursed objects have a 50% chance of being the opposite of cursed.
50?
Well, sure, it's either good or bad. That's 50%.
That's not how numbers work.
I think Jake's favorite class is also Warlock. Not because of any of the stereotypes around Warlock, but Jake's favorite part of playing D&D is getting to interact with the world. The more that he can have his character be directly influenced by the world is what you enjoy. But I'm not his wife. Aubrey, do you want to weigh in on what you think?
I think you as his GM know best in this.
That's actually shocking. I'm learning a lot about myself. I would have thought like
I need a input. Give me something.
No, I think having someone else control his storyline would be a slay for Jacob.
Yeah, it makes it a lot easier.
I think you could also do a little bit of paladin in that route.
Yeah.
Really? I've never played a paladin.
It's so much fun. It's the best.
I don't think I've ever played a warlock either. I've never set out to play any of these.
I think your favorite, it seems like, would be rogue from what you pick. But I haven't played as much D&D with you as the other two.
That's fair.
My first character was a ranger, and I really enjoyed that. And I thought that was kind of where I was leaning. And then everyone went full caster that I've never played.
All right, y'all, please let us know what your favorite D&D class is in the comment section down below. I had imagined the events of the Fall Equinox Ball going quite differently. The biggest trouble I was expecting was running out of hors d'oeuvres, or Oriana and Renshaw seeing one another again for the first time. Of course, a dead body and cult do change things up. Honestly, I'm afraid that the depraved have returned. I saw something at the ceremony of bells, something quite large, and then at the attack on the Temple of Ryan, well, I'm sure you've heard of that. I don't think I can keep that one out of the papers. If you see something in the dark, call for help. I'm sure the Ashen Order will protect us, and this is all gonna go away, right? In the meantime, I'm sure my friends could use some support. If you could like and subscribe, I'm sure that would help protect them from the powers that be.
And we're back to City of Shadows, still within the halls of Tyrvald Manor. We find Renshaw after this very awkward interaction with High Priest Ilion and Oriana. Where, in fact, do we find Renshaw?
Renshaw went to his room. No one can bother him there, and he can be alone. Just gonna spend some time there.
Good.
He's just going to like pull out his grandfather's journals again, like he did last night. He's gonna read through them. There's one particular page he was kind of focused on last night. It seems like it has like pretty detailed instructions on how to use the sphere, and it doesn't look like it'll blow up the house.
That's good.
From what I can read. So he is going to, like, without holding the sphere, just practice the hand motions and everything, get it right.
Yeah.
And then he is going to pick up the sphere and just repeat what he had already done while holding it.
Yeah.
Does anything happen?
So you trace the symbols in the air, and nothing happens as you trace the symbols, but as you touch the sphere, you can see like that purple glow from within the onyx, like gets brighter as your fingers touch it and as you begin to trace those symbols in the air. But nothing changes in the air.
I'm gonna try it again.
Yeah, you start to cast it again. You go through. This time, like, you see like a faint like shimmer in the air as you're moving it, but like you can it feels like magic is moving through your body. It's not a feeling you've felt before. You feel like from what you're casting, you feel like you're pulling magic from the sphere itself, and you feel like energy is coming in from your fingertips, and you feel like you're doing something, but like you don't see anything occur in the air.
Okay, I'm gonna go back to the book and see if I can kind of like decipher the shorthand for what it's supposed to do, because I didn't really read it.
Yeah. Give me an Arcana check.
Oh, that's not gonna be good. Oh, that's actually not that bad. 16.
16. You go through. You're kind of reading his shorthand, and there's like phrases of like if like to be hit, or I'm hit, or like when hit, and you kind of have like when striking, when struck, and there's like this kind of like tendency of like being hit with something, and you don't really know if like was the spell supposed to strike out at things, was it supposed to like what is it hitting, and you don't really know what the hit, the strike is.
So that's kind of what I was thinking, like the first time was I thought it was going to, like, I don't know, shoot flames or something.
Yeah.
But instead I'm gonna try and like hit myself, I guess. I'll just like drop a book on my foot.
Yeah, you drop the book on your
A
foot.
different book. A different book. One
You
less
get the
fragile.
heaviest book you can find because you're like, you gotta do it for science. And you drop it on your foot. As it strikes your foot, describe to me how Blade Ward kicks in.
So basically, Renshaw, he's holding a heavy book. He expects this to kind of hurt. And so when it hits his foot, it really doesn't. Like, it just kind of deflects it. It hurts a little bit. It's just significantly lessened.
Yeah, you drop it and you like the book moves in a natural way. As it like strikes your foot, like you said, it deflects it and you can feel the book hit you, but there's no pain, there's nothing associated with it.
Yeah.
And you feel like that pulse come from the sphere. Give me one more Arcana check.
19.
A 19. As you feel this pulse, you tapped into a little bit of this magic in the sphere, and there's like the faintest of like a crackle in the air, not of like raw arcane magic, but like of like the potential of like, ooh, like there's something real here. You drew a little shape and then something happened. And on a 19, you get that feeling of like you pulled a little bit of energy from the sphere. This sphere has so much more energy, and it's asking to give you more. It wants to give you more. And like as your hands on it, you feel like if you just push a little harder, you can easily grab. You're taking a drop. You can feel the sphere asking you to take a sip.
Yeah, I really don't want to do that. That sounds terribly dangerous. Maybe next time, Sphere.
You pull away from it and you feel that little drop kind of leave you. But that is a full spell that you have. Let's see. Yeah, actually, it doesn't go away when hit. It lasts for
One round.
Last round. So after a couple seconds, you can feel that magic kind of fade from you. But you look at the book in front of you, you look at the sphere, and you realize the possibility that's in front of you. In as simple as like a blade ward or a blade ward is, it's like that magic is real and you can do it.
Yep, that happened. I am not going to tuck it away as I have been. I am going to try and fasten it to my person somehow, like a pouch or something.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's going to come with me, because that could be useful.
Yeah, as you're able to get it in like a pouch and kind of, again, fasten it to your person. And as you do, even though you're not touching it this time, you can still feel like that drop is in you, and that all you need to do to take that sip is just to swallow it. Like the cup is to your lips, you just need to take a sip.
It feels like a cursed object that's just like inviting you to lick it.
Lick it. Lick the sphere. I love the adventure. No, it wasn't it. That was
No.
not it. Nope, that's not it. And just as you get the sphere into the pouch and you feel that energy, there is a knock on your door as one of the servants comes in and says, Lord Renshaw, Oriana requests your presence.
Of course, and I quickly closed the book that was sitting there.
I love it. Cool. You meet up with Oriana in the...
the foyer.
In the foyer, yep.
In the open.
I kept thinking the word study. I was like, that's not the front of a house.
No, we don't go in the study anymore.
Renshaw, I need to head into town. I need to make a pit stop at the market. You're coming with me. Because I cannot keep you out of my sights, apparently. So we must go together.
Okay. Where'd you say we were going?
Is there anyone in the room?
There's a couple servants that are bustling about, but someone's like, Arthas isn't here.
Oh, okay.
Or your brothers.
I will tell you on the way. And I'll lead them out, and I want to, like, make our way towards Quill and Keep. And on the way, I will take out the swatch of fabric from the, like, maroon cloak that I've had since the very first night of the ball a couple days ago.
Are we taking one of my carriages?
I don't know.
Did Oriana commandeer?
I guess I commandeered one of
curable.
your carriages.
Okay.
I didn't think about. I didn't know how far Quillen's Keep was.
I mean, it's within walking distance. If
In my mind, we were walking.
Yeah, you can commandeer one of mine, or you commandeer one of Eleanor's. I mean,
in my mind, we were walking to Quill and Keep. I wasn't getting in a carriage yet.
okay.
I didn't think it was that far. And
It's
as
not.
we're outside and alone, because I didn't want any of your servants to hear, I'll tell you about the maroon cloak and how I would like to go to Lockward Tailory and try to get this assessed and see if they can figure out what's going on with this cloak.
This is from the that girl.
Yeah, this is from the woman we found in Eleanor's study. And I believe
Alright.
Eleanor found the other cloaks that seemingly matched this one in the other
Right,
tower she
right.
told us about. And so...
Okay.
Oh, and Hera was wearing it at Ryan's temple. They've all got these cloaks, and there's something weird with it. There's something magical. I just want to find out where it's coming from.
And so we're going where to find that out?
Lockward's Tailory in the market.
Oh, okay.
But I also figured we can
Nice.
pick up Eleanor on the way.
Can we stop for a side trip before we get there?
What did you have in mind?
There's a new store on Red Raven Lane that I wanted to check out. It's a new game store.
Yeah, sure. We can fit that in. The magical cloths can wait. We can go to a game shop. Sure.
I mean, it's not like it's gonna get any less magical.
It's fair. I can be patient for a day.
Thank you.
The two of you make it to Quill and Keep, and despite also being unannounced, it is not rare for the two of you to arrive at Quill and Keep. It's been a while since the two of you have done it, but
At least together.
the guards and the servants of Quill and Keep allow you entry, and Marisol finds Eleanor and goes, Lady Eleanor, your Renshaw and Oriana are here, presumably for you.
Oh, that's so nice to hear. I will go greet them myself.
Excellent. And yet you see the two of them are waiting in your foyer.
Hey guys.
Hi.
Hi. We're going shopping.
Would you like to come?
We need one of your carriages.
Please.
That can be arranged, of course. And I'll call for Othello. Can you prep the carriage? The three of us are gonna go shopping.
Oh, very fun! Are Oriana and Renshaw back together?
Oh, God.
No.
Oh, that's a strange thing for me to ask then, if they're not. I was excited, and now I'm gonna go leave and get a carriage. And he moves on.
So where are we headed?
I don't really say much until we get into the carriage, and then I'll give her the same spiel that I gave Renshaw. That I'll pull out the little swatch of cloak and tell her that I would like to head towards Lockward Tailory. And to try and get this all sorted out and figure out where it's coming from. Like, because you said you had the other two... There were, like, 2 cloaks, you said, in the other tower?
Yeah, at least I found them hidden beneath the floorboard.
Right, and they looked like this, right? They're the same color and material?
Yeah.
Yeah, they all have them. Like, I just want to find out... It's got some... It's cursed with something. I don't know.
Well, and Max was working with the one we caught at the temple, who was wearing the same thing as
Exactly.
his sister had on in the study.
Exactly my point.
But
Speaking of this investigation, of course, I mean, we need to find out all that we can. And since we're alone, Oriana, I have been wondering, back at the temple, and of course I always have your back for anything, but why did we keep it from the investigator and the others, the sphere and book?
Well, it happened on sacred ground at the Asphodel, and Chemet is one of the priests over at the Asphodel Square, and he's doing a lot of study and work on cultist magic and for the High Priest, and I know a lot of the Ashen Order and the guards aren't really studying a lot of the cultic and runic magic. They're very much more focused on the witches, and so it's kind of a private matter of looking into these cultists, and we think that there's more cultist activity. I know we haven't even seen cultists in the last like 50 years, but he really thinks there's something, and I think there's something there to that, and I honestly don't think most in the Ashen would kind of believe us if we said that we think there are cultists back in the city. And so he's working on something.
But that, I understand wanting the sphere to allow him to study it, but why not first properly inform Dayborn of what is going on? I mean, now they framed her as a witch instead of an occultist. I mean, this is... I'm not the first to tamper with evidence, but it seems rather odd that these people who are after Renshaw, they don't know the right information for. I'm sure the investigator would have let you send the pieces of evidence to the priest to be inspected. I mean, if he's an expert on the situation, then all hands on deck, but...
Yeah, but that's the thing, is that he doesn't understand. He has these things to the Moors and the witches, and they don't believe us about the cultists, and it's just something we've been working on for a while now.
Okay.
And if I had more information, I would tell you.
before we check out this clock, though, we're gonna go to a game store.
Exciting.
I heard there's some new games. I'm hoping to find something good.
Good. I've been thinking it's quite boorish around here.
Yeah, I mean, just nothing seems to happen.
Why the sudden interest, Renshaw, for this game shop?
Oh, so when I went to Scrollspire started this business, and he sent me a letter. It's a very good piece of marketing, but basically, you know, it seemed a personal invite, so we're going that direction anyways, right? Ish.
That is true. Yes. Well, then it only seems fair to check it out.
Perfect. Without much delay, the cart winds through the streets of Etherly, moving over the bridges of the Serpentine, and makes its way to New Elsport, where the Emerald Market is being a work day. There are many people around manning the booth. The booths are full. There are people shopping and getting their daily goods. You do recognize that the market is far less busy than it was in the times before the war, when people would travel to Thalia and trade and do commerce with the central hub in this far north. But now the city is far less with travelers and more is overpopulated with its own residents, and so people are going about their daily business. But you move through the outskirts of the Emerald Market and are dropped off at the corner of was it Red Raven Street? Is that what it said?
I think it's Red Raven Lane.
Red Raven Lane, excuse me. The being of Red Raven Lane, you see the street is crooked and catty-cornered, and it moves into the shade of some of the larger buildings of New Elsport, particularly under the shade of the bell tower that Eleanor was so recently climbing up into. And so you have this kind of side street that the farther in it you get, the kind of darker and the grimier it gets. And you move down the street until you reach the game store. And you see the sign for Warwick's Game Shop.
His name's Jacques, right?
Yes, Jacques Warwick.
There it is.
Does this look like the right place, Renshaw?
Yeah. And I'm sorry, Red Raven Avenue.
Red Raven Avenue.
Where it is. But yes, this is it. Old friend Jacques, cousin to the Warwick family.
What a beautiful section of the market this is in.
I mean, I didn't pick it. Probably wouldn't pick it if I had a choice, but that's what Oriana's here for. She's got a sword.
That is true.
Well, you managed quite well the other day with a book.
Well, you know what they say. Pen, sword,
Sure.
Yeah.
Anyways, let's go see what they have.
You pop in the store, and unlike the rest of this dark, dreary lane, this store has brightly colored signs within, and the workings of a game shop for all sorts of ages. As you enter, you see there's against the window propped up a beautiful chess set that's been on display mid-game. You have a couple younger elves in the store currently that are perusing a couple of the games that are on the wall and on display, and you see, along with the merchandise, they have small tables set up with little lanterns and chairs set around for people to play games that they've bought or to look at games and inspect them. You see they have there's a handful of people, again, a couple children, two or three human adults in here, and you see all sorts of games. You have sets of, again, chess. There are dice games with different shaped dice and different, all of different like materials and different, different number of sides for different types of games. You have all sorts of card games, sets of regular playing cards. They have, actually, Eleanor, with your passive perception, you notice they have slipped within the regular decks of playing cards. They have not labeled as such, but you recognize like sets of tarot cards that they're selling. They're not illegal, but they are like definitely not associated with the Novem. And so like there's nothing illegal about it, but you rarely see tarot cards around Thalia, and so you see them selling sets of that. They have all sorts of kids games. They have like little like wooden figures that they've carved out. There's sets of like jacks that they have curated, and you see behind the counter is Jacques, who, as soon as you enter, again with Eleanor and Oriana's passive perception, sees the three of you. A like wave of recognition washes over his face, and he sweeps something off the counter before going, "Renshaw, it's been too long," and then comes around the corner and says, "Lady Eleanor, it is a pleasure." And Eleanor, you would recognize him. You would have gone to Ravenwell Prep with Jacques. A little bit older than you. He's a little bit older than Renshaw, so you probably would have only known him for like a year before he went to Scrollspire, but you have seen him before. You've met him.
It's a pleasure.
Yes, of course. Welcome to the game store. Me and Renshaw go way back. This was one of his best ideas that we came up with while watching the knights rattle away at in the stag grounds. And Renshaw, who is this lovely lady in uniform you've brought?
I'm his hired bodyguard.
Oh, fancy.
Yeah.
That's it.
Hi, Jacques. Good to see you again.
Yeah, I'm so glad you took me up on the offer. Take a look around. We got all sorts of games. I know you used to be quite the chess protege back in the day. You still play?
Not as much as I used to. A lot more time back then.
I see. And Miss Bodyguard, are you into any particular game? What's the vice these days?
These days, no games.
All business. I bet she's a gambler on the side, isn't she?
I wouldn't know.
And how about you, Count Quillen? What games are of your liking? I'm sure we have something in here. As a friend of Renshaw, I can hook you up with something good. And he comes behind the table and he goes, we just got a new game shipped in from the south. Took a long time to get here, but it's called Nine Men's Morris. It's like it's a strategy game with squares. And it kind of pulls up this board. It's got like a set of 9 dots. Within each set of 9 dots, there's more 9 dots in each like square that they divide. It was a strategy game. I'm gonna be honest, I don't really know how to play it, but the people in Valdor say that it is an excellent bit of fun. Still trying to learn the rules though. But if you're interested, you could be on the tip of discovering new strategies of this game next time you're down in the capital.
Well, that certainly looks like a lovely option. I'd love to peruse a bit.
Yes, of course. Look around. There's games for children. There's games for adults. We got all sorts of things. And as he's talking, the door to the magic shop, not the magic shop, the game shop opens, and you see a human with like bright, like almost like orangey red hair on a human man bright orangey red hair with the like black, almost trench coat that is just slightly dripping with water. He himself is not wet, but it looks like he was out in the rain without the day being sunny out, and kind of strides in and goes straight to the counter, and you see him set 3 cards on the table, not playing cards, but they're cards with like different like depictions of 2 of them with people, 1 of them with animals. And Eleanor, you recognize one of these cards has a smear of blood on it. And he slides the cards over to Jacques and goes, I picked up what you were looking for. They were not an easy one, but Dustfall does not disappoint. And then turns to the 3 of you and goes, oh my goodness, my sincerest apologies, my ladies and my lord. Just doing some good business with a friend. And he goes, and you see recognition strike him as Count Quillen. I apologize if I cut in line. I did not mean to intrude. We usually don't get highborns this far.
No issue. We just came to check out a good friend of Renshore's shop. It's quite lovely in here.
Excellent. Then he turns to Renshaw and goes, oh, Lord Tyrvald, I've actually heard quite a bit about you from Jacques. He mentioned your ideas in coming up with some card games back in the past. I have to say I'm quite a fan of your ideas myself.
Yeah, I dabbled a little. Never really thought they'd see the light of day, but
yeah. Well, Jacques has been quite busy working on some enhancements to the game. You know, I have to tip my hat to the brain behind it all. And he goes, well, I will not intrude on your game playing. I again apologize if I cut the line. It was rude. I'll be out of your hair. And he turns around and goes to leave.
Were we able to see what was on the cards besides the blood? Like what? You said they weren't playing cards, but like what was on them? Like
yeah, give me a perception check from all 3 of you.
$21.
Very good.
13.
5.
Renchard, you just saw these cards hit the table, and then Jacques quickly grabbed them and hand a sack of shade marks to this person. Oriana and Eleanor, you would recognize from Eleanor from your time in Scrollspire, and Oriana from your time in the barracks. They were cards from a game often played in Valdor, in the capital, but also played all around Calador, called Ladies, Lords, and Lieges. And it's like a card game. People will collect cards, and each one has different abilities, lets you do different things, but they all come from the capital. There's a hub of Ladies, Lords, and Lieges in Valdor where they print all these cards, and then they disperse it throughout the kingdom as a way to play a game. And it's kind of a unique game to Calador. And Oriana, on a 21, you recognize on one of them has blood on it, and another one of them, the ink is a little smudged, and it just looks weird because if you printed something, if something was printed in the capital and then shipped all the way here, like you could damage the cards and like the cards would be damaged, but like the ink looks like printed poorly, which catches your eye as one of these cards as it gets swiped around the table. And you see Jocko. yeah, that's my good friend Mills over there. He does good work for me. He's helping me really keep the business running right now. Yeah. So again, what can I interest you? The war has certainly been tough on people's spirits, and I'm sure the same goes for Counts. You guys can certainly need a way to take a load off, forget about the world for a little bit and just play a game.
Right. You got any good games for like 3 people?
He kind of thinks about it and he goes, well, any of our, card decks are good. Any sort of card game, War, Go Fish, Ridgeson Rummy is a good one. That's a classic. He goes, we do have some of the ladies, lords, and lieges cards from the capital, but I would not suggest that. I remember me and Renshaw used to play a little bit back in Ravenwell, and it's too addicting of a hobby. You certainly don't have time to get into that.
It's certainly a slippery slope.
Yes. Oh, for sure.
Any of you guys?
Well, I think that this, and then I just pick up a random thing.
Yeah.
Like,
roll.
Never before has Eleanor been in a game shop. Never does she have any interest in this, but she will purchase from a small business.
Perfect.
So.
Yeah, roll me a d6.
A d6?
Yeah.
6.
You grab a set of jacks and like the rubber balls that go with it, and it's a game that children love to play, and so it's very much like a game that like poor children will play on the street. And he's like, yeah, it's popular these days.
Wonderful.
Yeah, no, it's popular. Kids love it. If you get really good, you can impress some formal school kids. Absolutely. Yeah.
Splendid.
And yeah, he's like, for a friend of Renshaw's, this one's on the house, and he'll give you the game.
Oh no, I insist, and I'll push I don't know. I don't have a good concept of money in this type of thing, but I'll plus 5 shade marks in each direction.
Count Quillen, you are too kind, and he'll take your money and go, I appreciate the business, you guys. Again, Renshaw, I'll have to thank you again. The ideas were excellent.
Happy to help.
If you ever get some free time, I know that you've come a little busy in the last couple years, but if you have some time, you're welcome to, join in the business. I could always use a partner.
Yeah, I don't think it's in the cards.
See, ladies, that's what I'm talking about. That's the quick wit that we need. Well, if you change your mind, you know where to find me. I mean, at this point, we can only get bigger, right?
Not doing too bad.
No, absolutely not. Well, thank you for stopping in, and I'm sure that, again, come back soon.
Will do.
Thanks, buddy. And Count Quillen, Miss Bodyguard, it was a pleasure meeting you both.
You as well.
Actually, he's met Eleanor already, so it's a pleasure seeing you both.
But she responds back, you as well. Yeah. It was so delightful.
We'll just give a little nod.
Cool. And as you guys leave, Eleanor and Oriana, with your passive perception, you can see he goes is under the table looking at the cards that he was given.
Once we get into the carriage, I'm just gonna be like, well, that was a bit unsavory.
Just a little bit.
I'm glad that you did not take up that venture, Ranshore.
Yeah, that was odd.
Yeah, that could have been you.
I'm sorry.
What?
What'd you say?
I said I said that could have been you, right?
Oh, I mean, I would
In
probably
another
do
life?
it better.
Oh, the flourishes that would have been there,
Oh yeah,
Ranshore, had you been.
it would have been a little nicer, but no time anymore.
No. Your carriage takes you presumably to your next stop, which is Lockward Tailory.
Yep. Unless Eleanor, did you have any requests while we were out? I know we kind of
No,
dragged you along, but
Oh, should we get lunch?
Nice.
lunch?
Yeah. Probably pushing that time, right?
Yeah.
Of course, what do you have in mind?
I mean, we could get chowder from the atrium.
That is nearby.
Sure.
Wouldn't
I'll
it be?
tell the carriage driver.
Yeah, we can make a detour to the atrium. That's no problem.
Cool.
And yeah, you guys go swing by the atrium. It is a restaurant run by the Hearth Guild, and so as you eat your chowder, they put on a wonderful reenactment of.
Is this place really busy during lunchtime?
It's pretty busy.
Can I request a table outside?
Can I request a table
I'm trying to think
outside?
if you went to like a medieval times, it was like, hey, can I eat outside? Like that's that's a crazy.
It's a dinner and a show. Can I skip on the show?
Forgo the show?
I didn't know how open it was, how closed the area was.
I'm gonna say no. I'm gonna say they
Okay.
don't have outside seating.
I
Then
bet
can I
if the count
request a
asked,
seat
they'd make outside seating.
farthest away from the stage, farthest away from like the center of the act?
Yeah, you guys can get a spot away from it.
Just in some dark corner.
Near the door.
Yeah. Yeah, you guys get your chowder and your food, and you enjoy a wonderful storytelling of the some of the knights that came and first explored the Veremore Forest, and how they found like these magical objects, and then they brought them back to Thalia, and then they were able to put the moon back in the sky.
Whoa. Quite a story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
I
this
didn't
has
realize-
become quite an outing.
I mean, I figured, we're going out. We might as well have a little fun.
It's eventful.
Well, I think it's just great that we are all together again and haven't gotten attacked today, which is a nice bonus.
Yet.
No dead bodies.
Yet. The day has only just begun. It is lunch.
You don't have to be so pessimistic, Oriana.
Sorry, I've just been a little anxious that I feel like every time we've gotten together this last week, something bad happens. And it's not sitting right with me. I'm sorry, I'm just feeling a little nervous.
No, that's fair.
So I'm
Hopefully,
still on
I
edge
heard
about
that they-
yesterday.
At least now the entire city is alerted of the danger that exists.
Yeah. Hopefully more watchful eyes, more guards. I know this morning they actually, Templar, Mozark actually came to our barracks. I know he usually works on the other side of the city,
wow.
but he came over to our side today and requested a lot more guards to be stationed in other areas and a lot more missions. And yeah, everyone's on high alert, for sure.
Wow.
Well, that's exciting that you got to meet a new higher up within the order.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't personally get to meet him. It's more of like a group thing. But yeah, he was there.
Still.
He's definitely trying to rally everybody to fight the Moors. Yeah.
I heard he has a bloodhound, or he's called the bloodhound.
He is the bloodhound.
He is the bloodhound, but he does have a hound.
Well, that's
as a pet.
confusing.
Yes. Yes, he had a little white dog with him. It was quite cute.
Like one of the like little crusty ones.
No. It was very, very fluffy. Lots of fur.
His little white dog is massive.
Yeah.
By the way.
Yeah. Eleanor, totally like being one of gossip, knows exactly like what this wolf is
Yeah.
that I
Yeah.
think you said.
Yeah, it's a.
And she's just like,
Yeah, it's huge.
I'm not trying to hide the fact that he had a
No,
wolf
no,
with
I
him.
just think
She was just
little
like,
white
she just thought
dog.
it was cute. He had a little white dog with him. She kind of really liked it. It was cute.
Are other members of the Ashen Order allowed to have pets?
I mean, they're people, Venture.
I was gonna say, yeah. I mean, they have homes and lives. I'm sure they have. I mean, I guess typically they don't take them on the job with them. I guess that's the difference. So I guess many of them don't work with pets. So it is unique. But I'm sure they have pets.
But like,
Well, we could get you a hound, Oriana.
yeah, like you
Perhaps
live
it'll
in a
help your
barracks.
position.
Maybe. I mean, I don't really have a solid home at the moment. I mean, the barracks aren't really a place to keep a pet.
That was my precise just question right there.
Most people at the barracks don't have pets, no. But there are other Ashen Order members that live and have homes and families.
I see. Well, you're not in the barracks right now.
No, I am intruding in someone else's home. And probably not a great place to bring a pet.
You're probably not. Maybe a goldfish.
Maybe.
Venture just like, what can I buy you?
Well, lunch was good.
It's always so delightful here. I really love that it's always a unique tale.
Yeah.
Yeah, that moon going back up in the sky really caught me by surprise. I didn't even realize it wasn't like in the sky.
Literary flares, you
Mhm.
know?
All of your stops so far, Renshaw, have been great. I'm glad we took them.
But that felt condescending.
You can tell that she's trying really hard to be patient, and she really just wants to like talk to somebody about this cloth, but she is trying to like have a good day with the two of you.
Okay. Well, I have no more places to go. I've gone to my one stop. We've eaten. Unless Eleanor has anything else, we can go to the tailor.
Perfect.
That sounds wonderful.
You guys return to the Quillen carriage. As you do, the carriage driver goes, Count Quillen, I received this letter while you were in the atrium. It is from Grimwatch, and I believe it is for you. I have not read it. It just has the seal. That's the only reason I know It also said Grimwatch right in the front. I promise I'm not reading your mail.
Of course, I trust you implicitly.
Here you go.
Ooh.
You crack it open. It is a letter from Yanis Gore. He thanks you profusely for making time for him, and he says that he is available at sunset tonight in Grimwatch Hall, which you know is just on the other side of Atwood Gate.
And I will keep that to myself.
Perfect.
I can't
Wow,
believe
the Pigeon
you.
Post is getting very good at finding people when they're not home.
I mean,
The
the
Pigeon's Post
carriage
is
is
on it.
probably marked.
Yeah.
Yeah, they actually went to her
This
house
carriage
first.
has like the big house crest on it. It's got like maroon velvet interior.
They're good at the job, you know.
Yeah.
They also, I mean, in a world with divine magic, they probably could use like find person and be like, where is that person right now? They're over there.
You know what? That's actually fantastic for the Postal Service.
But to have find person.
That would be amazing if magic wasn't banned in the city.
I mean, they might even just use like a well or something.
That's true.
Yeah. It'd just be maybe do divine. Just be like, oh Volsair, where is Count Quillen? Got it. Perfect. Yeah. So you get this letter. It says you're invited at sunset, and he said if it doesn't work for you, he's like, we can absolutely. It's at your convenience.
Everything all right, Eleanor?
Of course. Yeah, I got correspondence back from the ranger, so.
Oh, good news.
Oh,
I hope.
are you going?
I think so. I hope so.
The carriage arrives at Lockward Tailory. You see there in the window there are these not nearly as extravagant as what Eleanor was wearing for the ball, but there are nice dresses up front. They have their best suits and both suits and dresses out front on display. And then as you enter, there are sets of mannequins all displaying everything ranging from more formal wear for the common folk to sections where they'll patch clothes that people will come in and request alterations or repairs or things like that. And you see there is a blonde human sitting behind the counter, and she goes, well, hello, welcome to Lockward Tailory. Oh my goodness, we have the Count Eleanor here. Oh my goodness, Count Quillen, how are you?
I am splendid, and how are you?
Oh, I'm doing excellent. Lord Renshaw, it is wonderful to see you. Lady Lunaris, how are you?
I am fine, and yourself?
Very good, very good. What can we do for you today? I know Viscount Lockward is upstairs right now. How can I help?
I'm just here to peruse. These all look amazing.
Oh, excellent.
You said this was, is she a seamstress? I'm sorry, who was this? She, like a seamstress, she works here, or is she a Lockwood?
Yeah, I work here. I do a little bit of sewing. I mostly deal with the customers, make sure that they, we get their clothes, make sure I take account of them. I handle all the shade marks and the marks that come in and out. I work here.
Oh, okay, yeah, so you work with a lot of the material.
Uh-huh.
Great, and so I want to pull out my, swatch of fabric, and I want to ask her about it. And I want to say that, my friend's grandmother actually passed down to her this beautiful gown, but sadly after so many years of being stored in a chest, it got torn apart by moths, and I was wondering if you can identify this cloth for me, and maybe tell me what kind of material it is, or where I can find other material like it, so maybe we can recreate this dress for her, or mend it up a bit at least.
Yeah, you see, she goes, oh, of course, let me take a look. And she takes the fabric, and she feels it, and she's looking at it, and then you watch her face drop. and you can see like fear kind of take over her face, and she's looking at it. She goes, "Where did you say you got this cloth from?"
A friend's grandmother. It was in a chest for quite so many years.
And Eleanor, you can see her hands are like shaking a little bit at this point. And she goes, let me talk to the Viscount real quick. And she sets the swatch on the table, and then quickly
I'll take it back.
gets off the desk and moves upstairs, completely leaving the floor unattended. But whatever happened seemed urgent, and she moves upstairs.
That didn't
Well,
bode
whatever
well.
this is, it seems like we will find our answer.
Knew it was something big. I knew it.
She comes down shortly after, paler than before, and she goes, Viscount Lockward would like to see you upstairs, if you don't mind meeting with her.
Of course.
She opens up part of the desk to allow you guys to move behind the counter, and you do all three of you go up, or is it just does anyone not want to go upstairs?
I'm going.
No, I'll definitely go with Oriana as a
And
count
I can't
presence.
let Oriana leave my sight. So
No, you can't be out of her sight.
right. So I will go as well.
Excellent. All three of you move up the stairs, past like the attendant her hands are shaking a little bit. She's still pale. You make your way up the stairs. You enter into Viscount Larissa Lockward's workshop. And as you enter, I'm just going to describe what you see because Eleanor, on your passive perception, sees everything. You see a bunch of like clothes, particularly like dresses and fine clothes in the making. There's a handful of smaller, of more like peasant wear that's currently in the works, either being mended or being made, but most of the stuff is excellent. The more you look at it, as you move past like these, like the clothes that are on hangers and all set up around, you notice that some of these are like extremely fine, almost at the level of like what you had at the ball, what like the Red Roars were wearing. Like they are like the things that Lockward is making in here are excellent. You begin to move through. You see some raw materials, the rolls of fabric that are in here. And as you kind of move through a little bit of a maze of clothes that are hanging and on mannequins, you turn and see Larissa Lockward. She is currently sitting on a stool, working on a piece of a finer like vest that she is mending. And she's a blonde elf. You know that she would be within like her early 200s, but she looks like she's in her early 20s. And you see that she is, with one hand, magically mending this vest. The other hand has a like see-through, ghastly hand that is helping her sew on the other hand. So she has three hands working on this vest. Behind her is a mannequin that is walking back and forth, getting materials, pulling out the fabric, cutting the fabric, and like starting to just move these materials around. The vest that she's working on, as you see it, is another mannequin that is, as she's doing stuff, she'll stop and it will move and turn and let her see a different part of it and move around. You see at the corner of your eye, a third mannequin comes up beside you with more like pins and needles and thread, and kind of moves past you as this workshop of mannequins are moving around. As she's working, she turns in her seat, and in her lap is a pink and red sphere that is glowing bright with energy. And she turns to the three of you and goes, "I've been told you brought me something interesting." And with that, we'll end tonight's session of City of Shadows.
That was a lot of magic.
Mhm.
There's
I
a
don't
lot
know-
of
That was
magic.
a lot of magic in this room.
That was a mage not even trying to hide.
That was a lot more than like a single well.
There is a lot of magic going on in here. And we will see how our highborns interact with the lovely Viscount Larissa Lockward. As we've seen we got to see a lot of spheres today in action. And we'll only see more in future episodes. So if you want to know more about these spheres or about the dangers that lurk within a small swatch of fabric, make sure you like and subscribe for future episodes of City of Shadows. But until we meet again over another round of the Four Rings Inn.
Woo, see you guys.